Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of One on One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie Television. Look, very excited to be with you all today as we get ready for episode 211 of One on One. And today we have the esteemed honor of hosting Washington Redskin legend, the NFL legend in general. Brian Mitchell will be joining us today. Talk a little bit Commanders. Talk also about who he thinks could maybe change things in the NFL this year. Who could be the surprise team? All that fun stuff coming your way. Can't wait to get into this one with BMitch. This is going to be a fun episode. We're going to get a chance to learn about him, his career, where everything is right now. With that being said, episode 211 of One on One begins now.
One, 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 one. One. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, episode 211 of One on One, of course, airing on the amazing Bowie Television and, of course, on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Today with me, ladies and gentlemen, I have a man that really doesn't need an introduction, especially for our fans here on Bowie Television, for all of the Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins, Washington football team fans out there. They know this man. He's on the airways every day. With our man JP Finlay, and that's my man Brian Mitchell. BMitch, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I'm doing good, Darrell. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Look at another great day. Excited. We get closer and closer to the NFL season, and that's going to be super busy time for us. Yeah. So very excited about the season coming along, but we got to get into all that fun stuff to figure out where this team is going to land and how will they do as we get into the season. But before we do all that, we got to learn about BMitch. And before we get into all that, I got to start off with my favorite segment. It's called the check-in. All right, BMitch, we got to check in on you, man. You, your family, your friends. How is life right now for Brian Mitchell?
Life is fun, man. I'm a 57-year-old who feel like I'm about 30 years old. I got two grandkids. I just spent time with them over the last 2 weekends and hung out with them for Father's Day, went back down this weekend for 4th of July. It's special. You grow up, you want to try to build a family, have a legacy, and I'm starting to see that happen. My son, who's 37, has a little girl, Cece, and then my daughter, has Bryce. So, their families are growing. Both of them married with their families growing. And for me, bro, Donnie Simpson always told me that grandfather love, man, is something special. And I thought he was telling me a lie, but you know what? The brother was right. It's amazing how much you can love a little person, and then you start looking at them and they have a lot of the similarities to me. CC is stubborn, just like her grandfather. Bryce is an outgoing dude. Who believes in his own, like his mom just told him something today. I say no. He decides he's gonna get it done. So two 2-year-olds, man, that are just out there doing it. But I have 3 daughters and a son. I'm very, very thrilled with them, the things they're doing and the way they're building their lives. So for me, I'm the fan right now, sitting back and watching the things they're doing, making me very happy.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, and it's and they're both two. So you had both kids pregnant at the same time. Oh man, you struck out here. You struck magic here. You were able to have both of them at the same time. That's all. And a boy and a girl.
Yes. So it's wow. we were actually on vacation in Napa, and my daughter-in-law, she knew she was pregnant. My daughter I guess she didn't know. She found out like a week after we left Napa. So she had a few glasses of wine, so I don't know.
You're like, oh no.
Both Bryce is 2 years and going on 4 months, and CC 2 years going on 8 months. And
Wow.
but both of them, man, they're special, man. Just I never knew I could be so happy. I'm a happy kid. I'm a happy dude anyway. But these little people here, they take me to a different level, So Grandpa gets up every morning, that little room over here, and work out to make sure I can be around and see them try and grow.
That's awesome. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a part of me that can't wait for that. Like my kids are just getting into college. I told the girls, I said, look, get through college. You know, anytime after college, for a personal level, for me, I'm ready. But I want y'all to get through college, get yourselves established. But if anything happens after that, because life does be lifing from time to time.
Oh, it does.
I'll be ready then. But don't do it now. But then don't do it now. Get through college and then we'll talk then.
Oh yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want. Now, BMitch, I want to know, when you were young, Brian, back in the day, 7, 8, 9 years old, where did your passion for sports come from? What made you fall in love with sports?
Well, I can tell you this. As far as I can remember, I've always was around my dad. I wanted to be like him. Everybody in my community would talk about my dad. My dad was a military guy, but he was the guy that everybody knew. Like you might hear about people saying I cook. I like to be around. I like to be the life of the party. My dad was exactly that. He boxed in the military as well. He was a chef. And he was like the person who I've always wanted to be like. And I can remember being, 6 years old, and I said, man, I want to be a football player. He said, you sure about that? And I was like, yes. And he woke me up the next weekend, that Saturday, at about 6 in the morning, took me to the levee, had me running up and down the levee. And he said, when you do this, son, on your own, I'm going to know you're serious. And at 10 years old, I was a guy who left out the house early Saturday morning. And my mom thought something had happened to me, had my daddy looking for me. And he found me on the levee doing what he wanted me to do. And, he basically, he was the type of guy who said, look, if you decide to do something, remember, we finish it to the end. And he was my biggest supporter, he and my mom. And that just made me want to be successful. And my aunt, who passed away my rookie season, she used to always say, boy, you're good at this sport, man. And what you do brings the family together. Don't ever stop doing that. And, it's fast forward from when I first got into it. But when you notice that you could do something so great to make your family come together, we have family where sometimes people don't get along. When I was performing, everybody came together. And that, to me, was the biggest thing in the world. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a catalyst to bring my family together. And that's why I got so much into it, And then, I was told early, your parents may have to pay for you to go to school. We weren't rich. So I wanted to go to school. And I wanted to be able to choose where I wanted to go. So I went to school in engineering and a football scholarship. So, it was a catalyst for me to get where I wanted to go, but it brought my family together. And like you'll hear me talk a lot about family. I'm more family oriented than anything else in the world.
And that's a beautiful way to be. I think for me, to piggyback off, I know growing up was tough for me, and I remember telling myself, like, man, family's got to come first, man.
Yes.
My mom and dad had their challenges, but I was like, I know for a fact I refuse to be the same way. I want my kids and my wife to really just embrace. I wanted my family to have the family life, all of the picket. Well, man, ain't no picket fences in this yard, but all the things that you've seen on, you like that type of lifestyle where you're going on trips together, you're doing things together, you're having playing game night, all that stuff, and it was very important to me. And it's just good to see people be able to have that opportunity, and like you said, bring people together.
Yeah, totally, man. Listen, it's the biggest thing in the world, bro. Where I grew up in a family. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. And, I know we make excuses for every kid growing up, but I always tell people about my life growing up. At about 10 years old, 11 years old, I knew which brothers and sisters I was going to follow, because if you pay attention, so Linda and Frida, they're the oldest. Linda's the oldest, then Frida. And then we had Blanche, Michael, and Tyrone, and then Darrell, then me. Well, when my mom and dad discussed Linda and Frida, they always were smiling. When they discussed Blanche, Michael, and Tyrone, they had a little skepticism in that conversation. And then Darrell, and then when Darrell would pop up, they were happy about what he was doing. So as a young man, and this is where I get so pissed off with society, we hear people, you cover them. They're 26, 27 in the NFL, in the NBA, making millions, and we always go, well, he's a kid. BS.
Nah.
I was 10, 11 years old, and I realized that my mom and dad smile when they talk about these.
Right.
So I'm going to try and do what they're doing, not what the others were doing. And listen, I love my brothers to death. We lost Michael in 1990, but I love my brothers to death. But I also knew the path they had taken wasn't the one my mom and dad was happy about. Darrell was the guy, engineer, well, smart as hell at the time. He's an engineer now, went to the Marines and stuff like that. But he was the guy who really I followed in football. Probably as strong as you can get. I'm bigger than him, but he was strong as an ox. But he was smart as hell, and everybody liked him. And he just something about him that I liked even more than my brother Blanche. If you look at Denzel Washington in Training Day, that look, that is my brother. They look exactly alike. So the women loved him, so you had to fight it a little bit, but I found Darrell. This is where I am at.
That's awesome. That's just a little bit of fighting here and there, just to let them know, hey, I'm here too. I ain't trying to hear all that. Yeah. Now, BMitch, I kind of want to know, how you got from. I want you to take us on a journey from where you were when you were at Southwest Louisiana up until now, where you're blessing the airways, every day here with our man JP Finlay. Can you kind of take us on that journey from college up until now?
You know what? It's a strange one because I went to school. In high school, I had received a chemical engineering scholarship from it was University of Southwestern Louisiana, and along that time, my high school coach Don Jones got hired as a receiver coach at the University of Southwestern Louisiana. I was visiting Arkansas. I had visits I was going to go to the Notre Dame and Oklahoma, but they said that we redshirt every freshman. And I'm like, to hell with you. I had a 27 on the ACT. I had a 3.8 grade point average. I'm not redshirting unless I have to. Let me compete first. Tulane University, all this stuff. So I said, I'm going to go to this school. They already showed interest in me as a student. So I'm going to go because my dad always discussed student athlete. He said student is first for a reason. So I went there because Coach Jones, I knew he was going to take care of me. And then David Culley, who ended up he was like the head coach for the Houston Texans for a minute. David Culley, who was my quarterback coach. And, it's like this brother who had played quarterback at Vanderbilt is my coach. And he was I kind of looked at him as like this mentor. So I get to college and, they weren't playing me, and I was pissed. And I got into an argument with a coach. And I say all this stuff to let people know why I'm like I am and why I'm where I'm at. And I told this coach I was going to basically kick his what?
Yeah.
Because he told me to shut up, and I ain't believing nobody. I don't care, black, white, whatever. Don't tell me shut up. We're going to have a problem with that.
Right.
But my dad always stressed respect authority. So I called my dad. This is the difference between my dad and these damn AAU parents today. I say, Dad, I'm transferring. I'm leaving this school. He like, what did you do, baby boy? Because my dad always called me baby boy. I'm the youngest. I say, well, I can't tell you all that. He said, no. Tell me exactly what you told somebody. And when he finally made me say it, my dad told me, I'm going to call this coach and we're going to decide what we're going to do with you. And my dad basically made me sit on the sideline with fully dressed without any pads because he knew if I had on pads, I was going to end up on that football field.
Right.
And made me sit there and take all the plays down, and it was the worst moment. Even David Culley told the head coach, if he plays, I quit. And I couldn't understand this for the life of me. Why these people? My dad's not taking my side. This coach who I love to death is now telling him he'll lose his job if I play. But what it was, they had to show me at that moment, this not about just you. He told me, he said, if you're going to be a leader, you got to be a leader every day. All right?
Right.
So from that moment, I noticed a change in me. So it was a drastic change where I stopped going around listening to the people that are just hyping you up. And I started listening to the people who I felt was trying to get me somewhere. And, my head coach decided he wanted me to be on his coach's show, like every week. You're the quarterback, fast forward, I end up becoming the starter. He said, you're the quarterback. Everybody looks up to you. I want you on this show to discuss stuff. So I began to like that. I was shy. I wouldn't talk to people at first, but he made me do it. And you wouldn't believe that it was for the life of you that I was shy at one point. So I get to the NFL, and I would always hear, like I said, non-football people saying what they would, what they wouldn't do. And I would be cursing my TV out, throwing stuff at the TV. And I can remember in 1991, my second year, I started looking for an opportunity to have something to say, to really just combat the people in the media, to go at them. Because I'm like, you saying all this stuff and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I respect a lot of the media people, but the ones that just had these mouths, like the Skip Baylesses of the world, where they want to just say stuff. I'm like, how you gonna back it up? What you really know. And so I started looking for that, and WHUR offered me an opportunity to become a guy doing a 3 to 5 minute talk on Mondays and Fridays. And then after that, for 5 weeks, I got hired by WTEM. And then Channel 9 on USA 9 came in, TV. I started doing that on Sunday nights while I was playing ball. And all the coaches were concerned I was going to say something that was going to piss somebody off. But I'm smart. I learned early. If someone does something good or something bad, you ask them what they were thinking.
Right.
And then when they ask, and I know I know the questions I'm being. Somebody fumbled, they about to ask me about the guy fumbling. So I already talked to him. And I say, well, this is what he told me when I talked to him. So I answered the question with his words. So I never would go up there and say, well, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm not afraid of anybody. I can handle Brian Keith Mitchell, okay? So I never was afraid to speak my opinion. And I think even reporters, in the day I was playing, reporters came to talk to me whether I played well or not. Because they knew I was going to get dressed first, because I didn't want nobody to I don't care if you're male or female, I'm not doing an interview naked. I'm not doing an interview with clothes off. They caught me a couple times with my shirt off. I want to be able to talk to you in a professional manner. I used to wife MJ. MJ was always dressed when he was having this conversation. I wanted to be the same way. And after I left the game of football, like I did media here, I went to Philly, I did media in New York. And when I left the game of football, Christopher Foley reached out to me and was offering me a job to do TV, So I started doing that, started doing radio, and here I am today, I've been retired for 23 years, and I've been doing radio since 1991.
Wow.
So, like, a lot of guys get mad about, oh, man, you taking all the jobs. Dude, I've been doing this long and you've been living. Shut up. Been
30 plus years of being on the air, plus,
yes.
the time. And like, no, your credentials are there. They talking crazy.
Totally.
Crazy. Now, talking about football, we'll talk about a team that's, I would think is near and dear to your heart. That you've known for, played for them for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. When you left the game, you were, and still are second all time and total yardage, which is amazing. And we're not going to get into why you're not into the hall, but that's something we can yell about later. And it's overdue for those who are listening. But I want to talk a little bit about the Commanders. 2 years ago, they bring in Jaden. We see such a culture change, with DQ coming in, AP comes in, everything just feels different. They make the playoffs, they make that magical run, they fall a little bit short. Next season, expectations super high. I always say that I felt like it's kind of going to be a tough year one way or the other based off of that schedule. We knew they had a killer schedule coming up with a lot of playoff teams. Injuries hurt them, all this stuff. When you look at 2026 and the moves that are made in the offseason, what is your outlook for this Commanders team heading into the 2026 season?
My outlook is this. I believe they can get back closer to what they were in 2024 and not what they were in 2025. And the reason I say that is this. When I talk to people, they ask me what I think, and when I start telling them, then they want to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, why the hell you ask me what I think? For me, JP asked me this question on air. He said, what is most important for Jaden Daniels to get back to where he was in 2024? And I said, a better defense. And he was perplexed when he looked at me. And I'm like, he said, why you think that? I said, well, if the defense giving up 30 points a game,
right,
a guy with Jaden's talent feel I have to be Superman. And when he tries to be Superman, he puts himself in harm's way.
Yes.
And you don't use your whole repertoire. Now you're gunning. If the defense is better, it can hold people down, can rush other quarterbacks and stop a run and give him more opportunities. When he can settle down and be who the hell he is, in 2024, you had Terry and you had everybody else. Jaden made the everybody else's look great.
Right.
And I believe that they can get back because I believe the defense will be better. All right. Now, I believe also that having Laramie Tunsil at the left side, who took, Josh Connolly Jr. under his wing to move forward, I believe that's going to help out even more. Cosby now is 2 years removed from the surgery. So I believe the offensive line is better. So more opportunities better when you have a Bill. I believe Katron Allen is going to be a big part of this season. Everybody can say what they think about fifth round. That kid can play. I met that kid in high school when my daughter was the assistant AD at IMG Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That kid can play football. So and then Rashad White out the backfield, they have a lot of what it takes. But I believe, I said this as soon as I saw the schedule, I say the intensity has to be lifted now.
Right.
And I watched them in the OTAs and the minicamp, intensity picked up. Now when they put on the pads, I'm not saying they got to kill each other, but they got to damn well get each other ready. And the thing about getting each other ready is knowing how to practice hard and fast without being stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, there's a lot of expectation coming into this season. And, there's just so many. I think, there's a lot of fans that look at it like they've been down this road before. They see this. And I think for this team, that's kind of a monkey they got to find a way to get off their back. We're not the teams of the past. We are the 2026 Commanders, and we are as good as we were 2 years ago. And I think that is going to be a huge factor for them. Yeah,
it's true. And like Jaden made the comment earlier this offseason where he said, I don't want to just focus on 2025. I want to move forward.
Right.
And a lot of media people took offense to that. And I say you take offense because you know what? You're not a player. Players don't think in the past. Players think now and forward. If you're thinking about just the past, you cannot grow. So you learn from it. You learn from it and you focus on everything on right now. So your future is going to be a lot brighter than what your past was. So I understand exactly what he's saying. And I think the whole thing of it is this. They made moves this offseason because certain people weren't on board. Let's be real.
Right.
Now you supposedly have everybody on board. And if everybody is working together, whether, the head, like John Thompson would always tell me, he'd rather his whole team be totally against him, but all be together.
Right.
Because he felt he could have success that way. Well, I'm seeing a group effort now, a group mindset to where I in my success in the league, in high school and college was because we all believed in something together that we can grow. I just think they can keep moving forward and think like that. Don't bring any drama into it. You probably know where I'm going with that. Everything will work out good.
A little bit. We don't need none of that. I saw some of that this past couple of weeks, and I'm like, stay away from that as much as you possibly can. I've been barking on every show. I've been like, don't do it. Don't succumb to peer
Craziness,
pressure.
man.
Just don't do it. So I think we're on the same page there, BMitch. Just don't do it. Next thing, and just in the NFL as a whole.
Yeah.
The league has changed so much. We see Seattle win the championship last year, surprising a lot of people. But Sam Darnold has back-to-back great seasons. 28-6 in the time frame in the regular season. Is there? What's your outlook on the season? Are there any surprises out there that you say, oh man, this team, you watch out for them? Do Seattle go back? What are your thoughts on the oncoming season?
The thing of it is this, man. Once a team wins, they have to focus on not worrying about what they did and what they need to do.
Right.
So you've seen a lot of teams win, and then the next year they're awful. Seen a lot of teams that are completely awful one year and come back the next year. So for me, when I look at those stories, I want to see if they can.
Right.
Okay. And I know their coach from Baltimore, where he has that mindset where he's always looking to go better. Can their running back come back and run the ball like he did? Can Sam now still be hungry enough? Because Sam had awful years, and he had something driving him to prove people wrong. Now that he proved people wrong, is he still that hungry?
Right.
Jackson Smith-Njigba led the league. Okay, got paid. Will he still be hungry? Or are they eating steaks, drinking steaks, lobster, and caviar, and drinking all their wine and stuff like that, celebrating still? Did they get rid of that quickly enough? Pat Mahomes got hurt. I love Pat Mahomes as a competitor, as an athlete, as a quarterback. How is he going to come back? Okay? Everybody, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is so great. He ain't win nothing yet. Will he finally get over the hump? You know what I'm saying? You look at like Dallas. Everybody talk about how great Dallas is, what they've done. America's team, when are you going to win? Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are always there, but how are they going to get it done? Like, my whole thing is, it's a lot of things around the NFL that you need to look at. The Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, how you going to redeem yourself? Because if you were anywhere close to what you have shown, your team would have been in the Super Bowl and probably win it. You let a defense down that was playing some outstanding ball.
Exactly.
Go to the Denver Broncos. Let's go on to New England. You had ups and downs and those things that were happening. So for me, it's so many narratives out there. But for me, every year, JP always say, every year is a new entity. What you did last year, whether you won or lost, has nothing to do with what you're going to do this year.
Right.
So what teams focuses on what they need to do now and get everybody on board quick enough to get that done. That's what it's about for me every year. I know we look at how teams finish and say, well, they should be at a certain point. Mm-hmm. We've seen teams go from being the best to being the worst. We've seen teams going from worst to be the first. So it's about, I love that constant battle of every year, everybody go back to zero.
Yeah, and you really, really just never know. I think that's what's been definitely the fun part about last year, because it was really a toss-up. You saw the struggles in Kansas City. I'm like, okay, well, Kansas City's not good. You saw the Ravens struggle. You're like, okay, the Ravens are not. So maybe the Buffalo year, the Bengals could never figure it out early in the season for some reason. You're like, okay, well, if they ever get it together, they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And can they figure it out? I mean, there's so many different elements. I think that,
and the Rams,
the Rams are like, each of the last two seasons they've gotten a little bit closer. Division championship, they get to the championship game. Is the Super Bowl next on the list? With the Texans, like you said, which you made up a good point. That game that he had last year, Stroud's playoff game last year, was miserable. I mean, as miserable as it can get. Now he's won at least one playoff game each year he's been in the league. So that he's been in the divisional round, but he has not been able to get past that. Yeah, and he's one guy that I really want to see kind of revert, or if not get better than when he was that rookie season. It's those last two seasons, it's not been what I think a lot of fans would have liked to have seen from him. And a lot of people have, unfortunately, the way the game is, they have lost hope in him. But with that defense, I still think they can figure it out at some point. They're a really talented defense.
That defense gives you chances. But I think for anybody in sports, you have to find a way to no matter what the level of the game is, it's still a game.
Right.
It's still football. Don't make it bigger than what it is. don't make it so big that you got to try to go outside the rim of what you're supposed to be doing to do something you end up screwing up. You know, I remember in 1999, we were playing against Philadelphia Eagles. Donovan McNabb was my cousin. And Donovan comes out fired up. He was the most fired up guy out there. I was like, they ain't winning this game. Quarterback too fired up. And he made mistakes in that game. Then I go and I play with them in 2000. I had that conversation with him, and he was a calm guy. And we won a lot of games because your quarterback can't be so hyped to where he's thinking outside the box. He has to be more focused because what happens in a game for the quarterback, guys look at you for guidance. Mm-hmm. They get hyped up or get worried based off of how you are. And he became that guy in a lot. We won a lot of football games when I was in Philly because he changed his mindset. CJ got to figure out a way to be able to do that.
Well, hopefully for Stroud and those Texas fans out there, he'll be able to figure that out. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, we're going to head to our second portion. One of my favorite segments on the show. It's time for the Brian Mitchell edition of Quick Ones. All right, BMitch, we got some fun ones coming for you now. Some people, I tell them, I said, look, you can do one-word answers, but everybody likes to explain. And I like to hear people explain a little bit. So don't be ashamed to explain your answer for each one. All right, we're going to start off with the first one. Your favorite sports moment. This could be career. This could be as a parent. It could be as a fan. What is your favorite sports moment of all time?
My favorite sports moment, I would have to say winning the Super Bowl. You know, and that's a team thing, but that's why you play this sport of football. You want to win the Super Bowl. And we did that. If I have to go as an individual, I would say being my first kickoff return ever in the NFL. You know, I was a quarterback from 8th grade all the way through college. We get to the NFL, what I dreamed to do, and they say, hey, only way you're going to make the team is being a return man. I'd already said, if I don't do this well, I'm going to Canada and play football. And the first time I get a kick, I go for a touchdown, which changed my whole mindset about kick returning. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I know that feeling had to be amazing. Like, oh, I can do this. Okay, say less. We're in there.
There you go.
Next one, we're gonna go on a little bit of a sad turn here. But your worst football sports moment, or your worst sports moment, I should say.
Worst moment. It was very embarrassing. I forgot who we were playing. No, we were playing against Dallas, and I caught the ball thinking I'm in the end zone. I kneeled down on the 1-yard line, and Gantz was his last name. Hit me, and I got up and I punched at him because I'm like, dude, why you hit me? I thought I was in the end zone. I wasn't in the end zone. Well, I mean, ball head. I was on the 1-yard line. I kneeled down, but the coach told me to stay in the game, and we went on a 99-yard drive. So it went from being one of the worst to one of the best moments ever. We had a play where I was on the opposite side, and my guy had to block. I had to go all the way across. I had to make sure I missed Mark Rippon to make the block. He got rid of the ball, threw a touchdown to Art Monk, 99-yard touchdown drive. So.
Well, there you go. That's how you turn a negative into a positive.
Oh, yeah.
Next one on Quick Ones. Your favorite athlete of all time?
Favorite athlete of all time? Ooh, boy. It's a lot of them. But being a guy who wasn't going to be that big, Walter Payton. Wasn't the biggest on the field, but will run through you. I got a chance to meet Walter in Minnesota when we went for the Super Bowl. He had a club up there, and Wilbur Marshall took me to the club, met Walter Payton, nicest guy in the world. But he walked up to me and said, you can have a drink. Your boys, I'm going to take care of them all night. You got a game this weekend. One drink, and that's all you're going to have. And you know the rest of the night, I did not have another drink because I was worried about Walter Payton walking up on me. But my brother, my best friend and my cousin, he was sending them Dom Perry. He was taking care of him.
Say, hey, man, what about me?
He's like, you got a job to do this weekend. And you know what? I respect that fact that he made sure they were taken care of. I had my drink, but he made sure I stayed focused on what I needed to do.
Good job, Walt. Rest easy to one of the legends of the game. Yeah. Next one in Quick Ones. Sport you secretly love. People may not know that you love this sport, but a sport that you secretly love.
I think if people listen to me on the radio, they kind of see I love soccer. Never played it growing up. When I was growing up, I went to college, I would go out there and run around with a lot of foreign kids, guys that were on the campus that played every weekend. But when you start watching it closely, what they're doing with their feet, you have to respect that, man. So I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna say this one here: synchronized swimming. I've always watched that. Yeah. I don't know how they pull their whole body out the water like that.
It intrigues you. You're like, I don't know how they did that, but
things that are mysterious, I kind of get caught with.
Hey, let me figure out what's going on here. I don't know how y'all are doing this, but it's
oh yeah.
2 more left in quick ones. We got the 2 fun ones. Give me your top 3 snacks, your go-to snacks, and one snack you tried it once and never again. I hate it.
Top 3 snacks. I love bluebell ice cream.
Oh, we right there, brother.
The ooey gooey is probably my favorite.
Hey, ooey gooey solid. Ooey gooey solid.
My mom would make this pralines that she would make. I absolutely love that. And then Monica, my wife, makes this sweet potato crunch. So I'm just calling dessert snacks because when they make it, I kind of make it into a snack. I make sure I have enough to last like a few days or maybe a week or so. So I love on that. But like, if you want to just go regular snack, my favorite ever is the $100,000 bar. That look, it's the bar called the 100 grand. The 100 grand.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. And then these honey, the twists. The honey barbecue twist, Fritos.
The one by Fritos. Yes. Those are really good. People say, oh, wait a minute.
That's crack. That's crack right there.
As a go-to snack.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you hate, though? Like, I can't do that again. Ever.
Licorice.
Oh, is it black licorice? Oh,
I've never got to that taste. It's just, it's weird. Like people like weird stuff, but things that are very strange to me, I just can't keep going to.
No, I get it. No, black licorice. Yeah. I remember the first time I tried it, and I didn't know. I said, "This is candy." I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think it was at Mike and Ike's. No, not Mike and Ike's. Good and Plenty. If you want to try a terrible candy made of licorice, ladies and gentlemen, is Good and Plenty. They should Good and Plenty it on somewhere else because it is not good. Last one. Here we go on quick ones. You're putting a concert together, BMitch. All right. I want you to give me 4 artists. This is your concert. You're putting this concert together. Who's your opener? Who do you have in between? And who's going to be the headliner? Who's going to finish the show off?
Oh, boy. You put me on the spot right here.
Yeah,
bro.
Man.
All right. I was in love with Stephanie Mills when I was young.
Yes. Okay, BMitch. We right here. That's where we go.
I'm going to start off with Stephanie Mills.
Smart move.
Then I want Pac to bring me a little hood into it.
Okay.
And then I got to give my girlfriend, Patti LaBelle.
Okay.
And I'm going to finish up with Prince.
Yeah, that's a solid show. This is a solid show. You can't go wrong. I'm going to tell you what, Stephanie Mills, my girl, that's the one person I got to see in person. I've been peeking, looking to see when she come in the area. I missed her twice. And I said, that next time will not happen. So I got a chance to see Patti before. Patti was cool. I was too young for Tupac at the time. He was already gone before I had a chance to really embrace it. Oh man, but that's and Prince, God rest his soul. But man, that's
talent right there. Listen, and I know everybody will say what you want about Michael. Listen to me, man. I played saxophone and played some other stuff. Prince can play everything. Yeah, so I have a certain liking for people that not only can entertain and sing, they can also play the instruments. And Prince, man, he was one of the Prince is as close to Jimi Hendrix as you ever gonna get.
True. I can't disagree with that.
He can play that guitar as well, brother.
Yeah, he always let people know. He was like, I'm an artist. Oh, yeah. Like I don't see him. I seen that clip. He was like, I'm an artist. Like you tell him, Chris. You tell him. So yeah, man, that's great list. I mean, I'm definitely coming to BMitch's concert. This is gonna be a monster. You're gonna stay beginning to end. Them 30-minute sets gonna be insane. You hear me?
Oh yeah. You know it.
That's right. All right, everybody. That was it for BMitch's quick ones. We're gonna finish this one up the right way with Leave Your Legacy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank BMitch for joining us today and coming in and just telling us about his story, giving us his life story, giving us that breakdown of the Commanders. But now we want to know, BMitch, when it's all said and done, you're back, you say, I'm retired. Leave me alone. I'm going to go chill out. what do you want people to say about your legacy when it's all said and done?
I'll just say I want them to say I was a real one. You know, I didn't shortchange on the football field. I came out and I gave everything I had. You know, I came to this league as a 5th-round draft pick who people didn't think had a chance to make the team, and I turned that into the legacy that I left. You know, I get upset with people today who tell me what school they're from or what chances they don't have. I'm like, are you putting in enough work? You know, and I think the thing for me is you get the opportunity. That's all you want. And once you get that opportunity, you got to do everything you can in your power to make sure you have the chance to go out there and prove people wrong. So I was told what I couldn't do, what I wasn't going to do. And I think I even exceeded what I thought I would do. So for me, I was a real one that never, ever shortchanged anything.
There it is. You heard it from a legend himself. Should be Hall of Fame. I know he's tired of hearing that, but it's the truth. Like at this point, you know, I mean, I'm not going to sit there. Look, all I would say, BMitch, a couple years ago, I had Leroy Butler on here. You know, Leroy Butler, me are good friends. And I kept telling him, I said, Leroy, your time's coming, man. I said, and that 3rd time he came on, I said, we're not bringing you back on until you get into the Hall. And then the very next year he was in. So I don't know what I'm hoping that the mojo of the show, BMitch. I don't know what it takes. I hope it flows in there in the universe. Then the next time we have you on, my friend, we can officially and definitely deserve call you the Hall of Famer that you are.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Once again, everybody, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Brian Mitchell joining us. Brian, we really appreciate you, man. And y'all make sure y'all check him out on the airways if you're in the DC area. One of the greatest shows, if not the best show in the area. Y'all make sure y'all check our man Brian Mitchell out. That's BMitch. I'm Darrell Owens. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 211 of 101. We'll see you all next week when we have Tony Wiley joining us, former Washington Redskin communications director. He'll be on with us next week. Can't wait to have him on. Until then, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. This has been 101, episode 211 on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and the amazing Bowie Television.
One. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof.